Oh, hey there. Come on in. We're just about to start. Welcome to My Wife, the Dietitian, a fun weekly podcast about nutrition and healthy lifestyle. I'm Rob, and together with my wife, Sandra, we invite you to join us on this informative and entertaining journey through the complex world of healthy eating.
Join us each week as we strive to help you with transforming your overall health and relationship with food through up-to-date, evidence-based nutrition information. Do you find that you're too busy in your life to even consider meditating? Have you tried to meditate and found that your mind is jumping from thought to thought? Join Rob and I to learn about the ancient practice of meditation that can offer some welcome health benefits in today's hurried world. We highlight 3 factors for success. Meditation, 3 factors for success.
Ah, yes, the meditation. So I'm not sure how many people listened to Sandra's meditation from the Nutrition Nuggets last week or the week before.
Struggling with your meditation practice? Let me lull you to sleep.
Yeah, that one.
That's right.
Yeah, so this is we thought we'd do a bit of an explanation of how meditation is good for you. It's not nutrition, but it's still part of our health and part of something we should have in a healthy lifestyle. So this is goes along with the little guided meditation that Sandra did.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the health benefits of meditation, challenges for many people, the types of meditation, factors for success, and diet to help.
Oh, awesome. Diet to help your meditation?
Just calm.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's like sleep, right? I mean, there's certain things that'll help you get into that state of mind, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right, so it is diet related. There you go.
Yeah, there's some quotes that are pretty interesting. Like one that I actually have on a little sticky note from Pascal. All of humanity's problems stem from humans' inability to sit quietly in a room alone.
Oh, interesting.
I love that one. It's so interesting because, I mean, we are all so busy and so overscheduled and fight and flight, daily chaos.
It's totally true. And especially nowadays, you look at kids nowadays and they cannot, if you take their phone away from them, they don't know what to do with themselves. They're just like lost. And I mean, we've all become like that too. We rely so much on being entertained all the time. And yeah, it's difficult to sit and do nothing.
Yeah, it really is.
But it's so good for us.
It's so good for us. And Robert Moore from the Monroe Institute, Robert Monroe, I am more than my physical body. And this simple acknowledgement has profound implications. And then Socrates, the unexamined life is not worth living.
Oh, that's the classic.
Yeah.
But a lot of these quotes you hear, but you don't actually think about what they mean. So they definitely apply to what we're talking about today.
Yeah. And I think it's just, as I mentioned, I think a lot of people are so busy, they don't have time. And the biggest challenge for people that are starting out is kind of that monkey mind, to empty your mind is just so difficult. To
step off the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's what most of us are on to a certain degree at one point or another in our life. We're on that hamster wheel where we're just going, but we don't know why. And I think the whole purpose of meditation and just what some of these quotes mean is just to step back and sort of just look at your life from the outside and get a different perspective. And it really highlights the things that are important and the things that aren't important.
Yeah. And actually exactly. And that thing is, if you don't have time because life is too busy and overscheduled, if you meditate even for 5 minutes, that can give you back time.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Well, it's kind of like, when you've got your computer and you've got all the windows open, all these different links open, and then it just freezes.
I'm not like that, but I understand because I know people who are like that.
Yours was this morning, remember?
It's because you were using it.
No, that's not true. Yeah, it's like pushing Control-Alt-Delete, and it's actually a good way to reset the brain and the mind and the body.
Yeah, totally.
And meditation can actually give you back time because it actually helps with problem solving and your creativity. It helps you bring new ideas to a situation or a problem that you're trying to solve by just, taking a break and actually doing some visualization or doing a bit of a meditation practice. And it doesn't have to be for hours or anything like that. It can be even just a brief break.
Yeah, it's kind of the same as, like when parents, instead of getting angry at the kids, it's like, okay, go and count to 10 and just let things simmer. It's the same. It does the same thing. It sort of just resets everything and gives you a new kind of focus and perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just the overstimulation and just, too much going on. And it just, even you can see it in pets too. Like when things get wound up, the pets get, like they take our energy on, and they take our, they can read our body language. And
Totally. Yeah.
And a big part of it is the breathing, like if you talk to someone who's nervous and speaks really quickly, and the rhythm of their speech is quite
hurried.
Yeah, the pace is, and the breathing is shallow and rapid breathing. It increases the heart rate of that person and eventually their blood pressure, because it decreases the level of carbon dioxide in the bloodstream, and then you have less oxygen going to the brain and the body.
Right, for sure.
And the person talking with that hurried person usually matches, like their level and their pace matches that excited person.
Yeah, they kind of pick up on that. And yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So yeah, breathing is a big part of it. So some of the health benefits, I mentioned a couple already: the problem solving, the creativity, like bringing new ideas to some difficult issue you're dealing with. Actually having a bit of meditation for a break can actually like help with seeing things differently. It's kind of like going for a walk.
It is. Yeah. It's removing yourself from whatever situation you're in temporarily and coming back to it with fresh eyes, fresh everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to bring
fresh socks,
maybe. Yeah.
Sometimes that helps too, right?
That's right. Well, actually, we will talk about that. Just the, one of the factors for success doesn't have to be socks, but you're so
I'm
funny.
Curious now. Where are we going with this?
Yeah, funny. Yeah, so also obviously better sleep. I mean, that's a good way to fall asleep. If it's definitely a helpful way to start a nap, or just for a brief, break, or when you're going to sleep at night, or if you're a shift worker in the morning and you have to sleep, whatever it is, just to have a quick little meditation to help your brain just slow down.
Yeah. I like the guided meditations too, because it gives you something to focus on. Whereas without that, trying to do that yourself, I mean, I can't. My brain's all over the place, and I wouldn't be able to, corral it, so to speak.
Right. And I think most people feel like, a lot of people feel like that, especially if they're not used to a meditation practice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a pretty common sentiment. But actually, when you're in that fight or flight mode, when you're, overstimulated or you're stressed or anxious, meditation can bring you back into balance with helping reduce cortisol levels in the body.
Okay.
And it helps with that negative thinking, that loop, the continual doubt, or, the self-talk that might be, oh, why did I do that? Or I'm such a, whatever you might say to yourself. All those kind of things can be helped with meditation.
Oh, that's good to know.
And when you mentioned the visualization, that like the types of meditation, there's like an open style and a closed style. So the open style is focusing on something outside of the mind and body. For example, focus on the moon, and it's more creative and active, and it's focusing something outside of you, and even like outside of the solar system. Like it's
yeah.
And then closed style is more, the focus is inside the body or a specific part of the body. So the one we did last week, the one I did is a body scan visualization. So that's kind of the closed style. And that's more like the head to toe. Some examples would be, when you clench your fists and then release, or clench any part of your body and release, and you do that throughout your head to toe. That's another way to do a body scan. Like if you're not able to actually, like you can even do that if you're standing in line, in the grocery store. And that helps to just center yourself to think, okay, I've got to get outside of my mind and connect my mind and body. And just by, it helps with like thinking where your shoulders are up by your ears, and you might be so stressed that, posture is huge, right?
Oh, so it's a big part of it. Yeah. You don't realize that when you're stressed that your body totally tightens. So it feels so good to just let it all go. And
yeah. And if you clench and then release, then you realize, wow, oh yeah, I am really tight, or I am really clenched, or whatever. Because if you actively go through your body and do each part of your body like that, that actually really brings attention to what's going on and the energy in your body.
Yeah, good advice.
And also there's creative visualizations such as like walking through a meadow, or walking on a beach, or walking through the forest. And there's, I think I might do that in the future for one of those 5-minute or 10-minute meditation practices. We
could do like a nutrition related one of like walking through a grocery store.
That's hardly,
Imagine you're walking through the milk section.
That's not very...
gently grab some milk.
That's not calming or peaceful.
No, exactly.
But we used to do that. We had in our work, we had groups for people that are dealing with chronic pain, and it was like a 6-week program. And part of that was doing these visualizations. And so I would like guide people through, walking through the meadow. And, it was about a 10-minute type of story. And by the end, I would say, open your eyes, and people would kind of be like, whoa, I fell asleep, or
where am I?
Where am I?
Who
like
are
that
you?
really worked. And they just loved it. So, I thought, well, that's one that we could do in the future on this.
Yeah. Yeah. They're pretty good. They're pretty effective. It's just finding the one that works for you, but they definitely do help.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so the factors for success. So 3 factors for success. Number 1, we talked about already, is breathing, and just, taking those deep breaths, and using like posture is really important, so that you've got the right posture and you're upright or lying down on a bed, whatever works, or wherever you are. But the breathing and posture all go together.
They totally do. Yeah.
And the second factor for success is comfort. So having the environment to be comfortable, and that's where the socks come in. Like for some people, that means taking your shoes off, and so that you don't have the constriction of your feet, and just to have more loose fitting clothing. Yeah,
like especially if you're at work or something and you're on your lunch hour and you want to have a quick little break.
Yeah. So it's good to make sure that wherever you're doing it, you're safe to be able to kind of check out for a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And number 3 is for factors for success is the lack of stimuli, or like a sense of silence.
Yeah. So either create that if you're in a loud space, sort of have some, like put on some headphones or something, or, close the windows if you're, beside an airport and there's planes flying by, or whatever you can do to make a quiet, peaceful room without distractions.
Exactly. A sense of quiet or a sense of silence, because that's just, you need that lack of stimuli to help with the meditation practice. I want to mention that research shows that, say, there was an example of people that didn't sleep well at night for whatever reason. They wake up and feeling tired and groggy, and a 10-minute meditation in the morning after they wake up, it can help a person feel rested. Even the brain scans and the lab results all indicate it's like they got an 8-hour good quality sleep, versus the people that woke up groggy, tired, and didn't meditate, and then they had cognitive deficiencies after the sleepless night with the poor quality sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that it would sort of,
Physically, actually.
yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Because
Yeah.
often I'll wake up thinking that I've had a good sleep and you feel kind of groggy. But the last thing I would think is, okay, I need to go lay down somewhere peaceful. And because it's like, well, I just did that and it didn't work. But it's different than sleeping. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. I would have assumed, like after you've had a busy day, then it's a good time to meditate because you need to kind of bring yourself back down. But yeah, it's interesting to think that it's effective right after you get out of bed.
Yeah, right after waking. You don't even have to get out of bed.
True.
Yeah, you can do it in bed and before you get up. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Meditation, there's more and more evidence to show that it's really restorative and really helps with bringing the feeling of calmness and peace and bringing back your connection with your body and your breath, and feeling the deep inner peace and showing kindness is always a choice. So we can choose to be angry or we can choose to be
like bitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
The glass is half empty or half full, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that mindset really affects a lot and a lot of how your body feels too, right?
Yeah, exactly. And how you hold the stress in the body and how it can affect long-term, different conditions and chronic diseases and autoimmune conditions. And, there's so much to it. So trying to meditate is, even just trying, like if you've never done it, just, once a week, or just try to, it's kind of like taking a nap. It's just restorative and it's a break, and it can actually 5-minute meditation can do the trick.
Yeah. I remember when I was in high school, I took a class and the teacher, we did this in the class one day, and the teacher turned out the lights. It was like a theater arts class or something. So it was like a carpeted floor and a big open space. And we all laid on the floor and closed our eyes, and he shut the lights out, and nobody really knew what was happening. And then he started doing this guided meditation, and I think he did like pretend like there's water like coming into your, like filling your body up, and you can feel it coming in your hands and up your arms and all this, right? And it was probably 20 minutes, and holy cow, like when we were finished, I felt like a brand new person. It was amazing.
That's so cool.
And the first time I'd ever done, it's probably the first time a lot of people had done something like that, because it was kind of back before meditation was kind of trendy, and it was a really interesting experience. Yeah. And yeah, instant results.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, eh? And it's, I think people just think, oh, I'm too busy. Like that just seems like so like.
Yeah, I don't have time for it. But like Sandra said before, I mean, if you do this, you're going to like open up so much more time because you'll be more effective.
Yes.
After.
Yeah. And they're showing that it actually works that way. So it's pretty incredible. And I think it's really worthwhile trying again if you've tried and it didn't work.
Yeah. Just try a different type or.
Yeah. Oh, something. Yeah. And there's tons of apps that are free that can help with your meditation practice, like Calm.
Oh, like the names of the apps, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe
Headspace.
We'll list them in the show notes. And the other thing too is, finding someone who has a voice that you find pleasant, because there's nothing worse than listening to someone that's kind of grates on your nerves and they're trying to like lull you into this like meditative state. So find someone who's got a pleasant voice, like Sandra.
Thanks. Well, for some people, maybe.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to talk about food? Because you said there was some diet related stuff we can do to help us.
Yeah, it's I think quick fixes are sometimes what people do when they're over scheduled, busy, and they are feeling like, oh, I'm having a bit of I need a pick me up. So drink a pop or, a sugary drink, a coffee that's loaded with sugar.
Totally.
And those things can elevate the mood momentarily, but then they can actually cause lethargy and tension in quite a short time period. So
yeah, for
it's
sure.
like that quick little boost, but then worse later. So it's important to try to include fruit at breakfast if you can, vegetables at lunch and dinner. So vegetable or salad at both later meals in the day. And, for snacks, try fruits or nuts and seeds, whole grains, vegetables, instead of the ultra processed foods like chips or donuts.
The quick fix foods. Yeah.
Yeah. The highly processed and sugary foods, because those things, as I mentioned, they cause that quick pick me up and then crash.
And sometimes like when you go, I used to feel that I needed a coffee mid-afternoon, and probably if I had just had a little 10-minute meditation, I might have been able to achieve the same effects of sort of the recharge, that you're wanting the coffee to do.
Yeah. And then the thing is, having a coffee in the afternoon, for some people, that might mean that they won't get a good quality sleep.
Exactly. It was all, I sleep way better now, partly because I probably don't have caffeine coursing through my system, but I changed up a few other things in my life, so I don't feel like I need that coffee mid-afternoon.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that in Better Sleep, episode 16. And also there was one on coffee.
Well, coffee, yeah.
Coffee, yeah. So there's a little bit more about that on episode...
It was like 45 or something, not too long ago.
Episode 45.
Yeah, look at me.
Is that what you just said? Okay, sorry.
It's really improved my memory.
It sounds like.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you wanted to say about meditation or the food part? This is kind of just a brief overview, I guess, of it's not too deep, but it's just a brief overview, and just give it a try. It definitely works. And we just sort of wanted to explain what we started there with Sandra's guided meditation, so you understand where that came from.
Yeah. And partly it's because we did it years ago in that group, and it was so effective. And since then, I've been kind of doing this myself, and I use different apps. And well, now I just listen to myself because it worked for me.
That's so funny.
Lull myself to sleep and lull you to sleep sometimes.
Yeah. Sandra's the queen of power naps. I think I've told you guys this before, but she'll have an hour lunch break, and then she's got to go back to work, and it'll be like, she has to be back at work at 1, and it's like 10 to 1. And she's like, okay, I'm just going to have a quick nap. I'm like, what do you mean? Don't you have to go back to work? And like, how do you nap and leave and all that in the next 10 minutes? And sure enough, she goes into the bedroom for like 7 minutes and comes out completely like recharged and ready to go. And I'm like, it's amazing. I don't know how you do that, but it works.
So
it
funny.
works. And she's really good at it. So she's proof. Give it a try.
Thanks, Rob.
I'm jealous. I wish I could do that. I think a lot of people are jealous.
You could do it.
Yeah, I suppose. Like I said, my brain is, it'd take me 20 minutes just to like offload all the things that are on my mind before I could get in a state where I could just focus on doing nothing and thinking of nothing.
You could take 30 minutes then.
Yeah, maybe.
20 minutes to clear your head, and then 10 minutes for the meditation, and then wake up and you're back at it.
Does daydreaming count, do you think, as meditation? Because it's kind of similar if you think about it. I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder too. It's a very good question.
It's probably, yeah, I don't know.
I did see something about that online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a sailing example, actually.
Oh.
So meditation is a little like sailing. You observe the great forces of water and wind, holding the tiller and main sheet. You align your boat with these forces, putting it into a smooth motion, but you are still. And then daydreaming is you let go of the sheet and tiller, loosening the controls. You remain still, but let the boat drift aimlessly. So it's a little like daydreaming.
Huh. Sounds a little more like mayhem, but I guess it depends on the conditions, I suppose, of the sailing.
Well, that's
Cool.
funny that you said mayhem, because that's another, I saw another kind of definition that said meditation is when the mind is calm and peaceful, whereas daydreaming, it's like the mind's entertainment, which can stir up all kinds of emotions.
That's true. Yeah, I can see that. Like you definitely, your brain is bouncing all over the place when you're daydreaming. You're sort of, controlling.
It's more of like a chain of random thoughts and images.
Yeah.
Depending on your experience, combined with your imagination.
Yeah, interesting.
Versus meditation is like a deep level, it's absent of discursive thoughts and mental activities. So it's more focused, I guess.
Yeah. I do daydream a lot about sailing. So maybe I am meditating a lot too. That's why I'm so mellow and laid back.
That's right. Well, it's perfect because I'm pretty
You're pretty happy.
I'm happy and I am very active, and you always used to call me the Energizer Bunny because I can get I'm very productive and get a lot done, but then that's why I need those breaks, the meditation, the naps or whatever, just to...
Sandra's like a puppy. She's like super happy and super full of energy, and then she crashes, and then she's good to go again, and she's all happy and positive and full of energy.
Yeah, our puppy's kind of like that, eh?
Totally.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, I like puppies.
Well, it's a good thing.
Most people like puppies, so there you go.
Thank goodness. You're so funny. That's a weird way to end, but anyways, all right. Thanks for that. We'll put some of this information in the show notes.
Absolutely.
Actually, I think all those meditation apps, I think I've got 5 or 6 in the show notes already. So
yeah, there you go. And guess what else? I'm going to remind you to look at YouTube, because we're still on YouTube, having some fun. Haven't done any crazy videos yet, but we will. And Facebook, Instagram, our website. It's got lots of good blogs on there. If you haven't been there, it's mywifethedietitian.com. So check that out. And yeah, we'll be back Wednesday with some nutrition nuggets for you. And
the meditation apps are Calm, Headspace, Insight Timer, Unplug, Simple Habit, and Buddhify.
Buddhify. That's the one I'd go to. That just sounds fun.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Go chill out, meditate, have a fun week, and we will talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Rob.
All right. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.